Now, suppose we have a point on a circle. Okay. We call this point P. And when the circle rotates around its center, then this point moves. So we didn't find the linear velocity of this point on the circle. So actually, this linear velocity of the point P is just equal to the rate at which this point moves, right? So now, suppose we have the axis S, and the corresponding angle is alpha. So now P travels s distance in the time t, then the linear velocity v, that should be equal to this traveled distance divided by the used time. So this v is the linear velocity of this point. And when the P moves along the circle, this terminal side also rotates, right? So we can consider the angular velocity of this point. So the angular velocity, we use omega to denote this angular velocity. So lowercase of the Greek letter omega, and that should be equal to the angle that this terminal side moves through, alpha, divided by the time used, t. So now, let's look at the relationship between the s and alpha. We know this axis s is equal to the radius times the alpha, right? So now, this linear velocity v, which is equal to s over t, if we replace s by this r times alpha, then we get r times alpha divided by t. Then we may rewrite this as r times alpha over t. So now this alpha over t is just the angular velocity of this point P. So this linear velocity is equal to the radius times the angular velocity omega. So now we get the relationship between the linear velocity and angular velocity of one point on a circle with the radius r. And to solve the problem involving the linear velocity and the angular velocity, we need to know the conversion between the mile, feet, inch, and the yards. Let me list this conversion for you. So 1 mile is equal to 50 to 80 feet. And we know 1 feet is 12 inches. So we have the 50 to 80 times 12 inches. And this is equal to 63,360 inches. And this is equal to 1760 yards. Okay, and this is a very useful conversion. Okay, you need to remember that. So now that means if you divide both sides by this 63,360, then you get 1 inch equal to 1 over 63,360 mile. Okay.